Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Wednesday morning. It's very wet, very windy, the weather's horrible here, so no footage today from the fields. However, I've got some things to talk about. There's a bunch of stuff that's come out since Bryan Kohberger's extradition hearing that happened yesterday in Monroe County Courthouse in Pennsylvania, where he looked calm, stoic, defiant even. I would say some signs of defiance there in his face. Look, straight at the camera. That's the intense stare that people that know him have been talking about. Look at that. Look at his face. Very intense. But yeah, he's signed the papers for extradition, so he will be back in Idaho within 10 days. His public defender, Jason LaBar, who's been looking after his case while he's been in Pennsylvania, said that he's likely going to be in Idaho in the next 72 hours, so the next 3 days. But the judge ordered that they have 10 days to sort out the travel arrangements. There was an interview with the sheriff of Latah County Jail where Bryan will be housed. I put a short video of that together late last night my time, including the commissary list. So these are the types of things that Bryan will be eating. If he wants a snack, he will get his 3 meals a day while he's there, but he can buy extras if he would like to. Not many vegan options if Bryan continues with his plant-based diet, but there are some plant-based snacks on the commissary list. Yeah, the sheriff said he'll be treated like any other inmate. He will be in protective custody. He will be in a cell on his own. They're going to keep him as safe as they can. He will be under surveillance because they want him alive for trial, obviously. Justice should be served. Assuming, of course, he's the guilty party. He believes he's going to be exonerated. We see the face of Jason LaBar. I don't think I've seen his face before. He spoke to the press after the hearing, saying that Bryan believes he will be exonerated and he wants to go to Idaho as soon as possible. An interesting comment was made at the Pennsylvania State Police press conference yesterday, which happened after the hearing, and I covered that in a live. So if you want the full kind of picture of how things unfolded, go and watch my live. I had the hearing on and the press conference. So there was a few interesting things actually that came out of that press conference. One of the officials that was speaking said that he believed Bryan wanted to get to Idaho as soon as possible to see the probable cause affidavit, and I hadn't thought of that. I think that's probably the case, that he wants to see what evidence they've got against him. Now, of course, a probable cause affidavit is only enough information presented to a judge for them to sign the probable cause affidavit. They're not going to reveal their hand anytime soon. But this is an update from Moscow PD, and I think it's going to be the last update from Moscow PD, but I'll come on to that in a minute. So they say the first step in any felony court case in Idaho is what is referred to as an initial appearance. The initial appearance takes place before the magistrate court judge. At this hearing, the judge explains the defendant's rights, the charges against them, and it's also where defence counsel is appointed if the individual does not already have representation or cannot afford representation. At this hearing, the defendant is not asked for the plea. At the initial appearance, the court schedules a preliminary hearing. Upon Kohberger's return to Idaho, he will be served with the Idaho arrest warrant for 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. Once that arrest warrant is returned to the court, the probable cause affidavit will be unsealed. Anyone in the media or the public who is seeking a copy of the probable cause affidavit will need to do so through the Idaho Judicial Cases of Interest webpage. And this is it. So click on that for the online search of records. And yeah, so that's the website that we need to be taking notice of. I've already bookmarked it. bookmarked it because of a previous case, the Michael Vaughan case that's ongoing with Sarah Wanderer. That's the case number, if anybody's interested. That's the case number. So CR29-22-2805. Now, it's come out in the press that on Tuesday night, Latah County Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall issued a non-dissemination order in the case. The Moscow Police Department said the order prohibits any communication by investigators, law enforcement personnel, attorneys and agents of the prosecuting attorney or defence attorney concerning this case. The department said, adding, due to this court order, the Moscow Police Department will no longer be communicating with the public or the media regarding this case. So we're not going to get any further updates from Moscow PD, but we're all waiting patiently. We're waiting impatiently, I am, for that probable cause affidavit to be unsealed. So it could be as early as maybe tomorrow if he's flown back. The sheriff from Latah County believes that he will be flown back, but obviously there's intense security reasons. They don't want him escaping, doing a Ted Bundy, and they don't want anything to happen to him during his transport. So it's all very secretive, but it could take as long as 10 days. Obviously, if they're flying him, all of the transport arrangements, all the different pieces of that operation, it's like a military operation, has to be put in place. But Bryan has been appointed a public defender. Her name is Ann Taylor. She's the chief public defender. And Fox News are reporting that yesterday investigators hired by Kohberger's defence team arrived at the home at 1122 King Road, where he's accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students. Obviously, we know that they are Ethan, Xana, Maddie and Kaylee. Fox News reported 3 men and 2 women arrived at the King Road house about noon Eastern Time and spent 45 minutes taking video inside and outside the property. 4 of the investigators left after touring the home Tuesday while a crime scene reconstruction analysis remained. So his defence are going to reconstruct the crime scene. Now, all the evidence tags and things will most probably still be in there because, well, actually, I'm not sure, because a cleanup team did arrive there on Friday, December 30th, the very day that Kohberger was arrested, and they were told to stop. Like, a court order stopped them. So presumably that was due to concerns that the defence would want to go there and see the crime scene. That's standard. That's not unusual that the defence would hire a team to do that. That's standard practice. An Idaho State Police trooper accompanied the group. The Idaho lawyer who is representing the accused mass murderer hasn't been publicly identified. She has now. It's Ann Taylor. So the fact that Bryan Kohberger's attorney has brought in private investigators to go through this crime scene leads me to believe that he's definitely going to mount a strong defence. Of course he is, because he believes he's not guilty. But then again, he hasn't seen the probable cause affidavit, and neither have his defence. Neither have any of those investigators who have gone and looked at the crime scene. Everybody's in the dark at the moment, including Bryan. Now, Fox News interviewed Steve and Christy Gonzalez, Kaylee's parents, and Christy Gonzalez wants the death penalty if he's found guilty. So listen to what she said here.
What would you like, assuming there's a guilty verdict in this case, the murderer of your daughter, what do you think a just punishment is?
Well, considering that this person went in there that night with the intent to kill and showed no mercy, unprovoked, and killed our daughter, her best friend, and their 2 friends, we are glad that we live in the state of Idaho with the death penalty.
We don't have the death penalty here in the UK, but some cases just make me believe that we should. But that's just my opinion, and obviously that's the opinion of the Gonzalez family. So there's been a lot of chatter on social media. I mean, it's just insane, the amount of information. I mean, the amount of interest in an extradition hearing, you know, just a few handful of seconds where Bryan was seen, has been, you know, distributed so many times on social media. It's insane. I mean, what's the trial going to be like? It's going to be mad. But this is interesting. Somebody's put together a chameleon of his faces. That's the police stop on the 15th of December. I mean, look how scary he looks. I've not photoshopped this picture, by the way. He looks scary. We see that intense stare again, but he looks scared. So they were stopped twice in Indiana on the 15th of December as they were driving back for Christmas, and that's his dad there who drove with him. So lots of speculation on why his dad drove with him, maybe just to share the driving. Don't think there's anything nefarious about it particularly. But those are all the faces of Bryan Kohberger. Scary, scary stuff. Lots of rumours and stuff, as expected. I don't know how accurate this is, but somebody is claiming that they have a Facebook marketplace account, and it says it's legit. You can see my FB marketplace account. I've been selling for years. He drove from PA to get the knife for $350. It's rare, discontinued knife meant for cutting skin. From what I remember, the dude seemed nice. He was with another guy who sat in the car. We don't know that this other guy knows anything about it. We don't know if this guy here speaking on Facebook is legitimate, but that's the type of knife that he bought, allegedly. The weapon hasn't been found as far as we know, but there's certainly a lot of rumours as to whether they have found it or not, but can't vouch for the accuracy or the truthfulness of this. This was allegedly sometime in October. He didn't drive from Pennsylvania, but he did have Pennsylvania plates on his car until 5 days after the murders, when he had them changed to Washington plates. Bryan Kohberger is a classic example of why women are interested in serial killers. We've all met creeps like this. Why some decide to kill is something worth learning about. It is indeed. The mind of the killer is fascinating. The reason why I'm interested in it is because of the psychology of it all. I am going to be doing a live in the next couple of days about the psychology of killers like Kohberger. Now, the other thing that people are talking about is injuries that people see on Kohberger's wrists and hand. I'm not sure. I think that possibly is an injury. I think some of them might just be shading. I'm not sure. But that looks like something. I've seen other shots as well where people are kind of zoning in on certain areas. We believe the media has constantly reported over the last few days that the police have DNA from the scene. We heard from the Pennsylvania State Police that they've seen the probable cause affidavit. They saw it to execute the search warrant of his parents' place. He obviously was very tight-lipped, but he said that they had evidence connecting him to the crime scene. So I'm expecting that to be DNA. Did he cut himself? Maybe. That he left DNA at the scene, and it's been reported that it's genetic genealogy that has linked him to the crime scene. So we've only got another few days to wait for that probable cause affidavit, so things will become a lot clearer. But relating to that police stop on the 15th of December, as they were travelling from Washington to Pennsylvania, there has been a Indiana State Police statement, the law enforcement people that stopped them twice in Indiana, one for speeding, one for tailgating. So just basically, you know, being a little bit dangerous on the road. Bryan was driving. So this statement says, at the time of this stop, there was no information available on the suspect for the crime in Idaho, to include identifying information or any specific information related to the license plate, state or number of the white Hyundai Elantra, which was being reported in the media to have been seen in and around where the crime occurred. So they had no information about it. They didn't know that the FBI were tailing him. So the FBI had information very early on. You know, we were all speculating on which Hyundai Elantra it would be, and there was lots of talk about this one or that one or the other one. But if it's from the 15th of December onwards, they were all wrong. That vehicle was not in Washington or Idaho. It was on its way back to Pennsylvania and sitting at his parents' home, which is this. And we heard from Pennsylvania State Police that 50 members of a SWAT team descended in the early hours of December the 30th. It was a carefully planned, beautifully executed set of maneuvers. He was arrested without problems, didn't try to escape, couldn't escape. 50 SWAT team people descending on this quiet rural property. And as I talked about in my live yesterday, you've got 3 exits at the front. We don't know how many at the back. I haven't seen it at the back. There'd have been a team on each one of these. Multiple windows were broken, so they all bust in at the same time. That it's the element of surprise. It must be completely shocking for his parents. I do feel sorry for his parents. I don't believe that they have any idea of what he was doing. They are just shocked by all of this. They're standing by him at the moment. He mouthed "I love you" apparently in the court. Obviously nobody knows the details of what the police have on him as of yet. So yeah, they all descended on this rural property, bust in through the windows and the door, and took him into custody. Has he dropped the murder weapon somewhere between Washington and Pennsylvania? The murder weapon, even if it's never recovered, it's not the end of the world. If they've got information linking him directly to the scene, then that's the information that they need. Anyway, there's lots more, but that's just a snapshot through some of the things that have come out since the hearing. But there's lots more. It's insane. Anyway, guys, go and watch my live if you want to see how the hearing unfolded. The Pennsylvania State Police press conference, I've got that in full. So I've also got the interview with the sheriff, so go and watch that. So I'll see you very soon. It's goodbye from me, but not Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer this morning. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.
How did you do it? You want to start with Pennsylvania, Bryan?